Hey there, and welcome to Rockwall, Texas Living, the web's biggest blog on the smallest county in Texas. I am your host, Evan Matteson.
And I'm your co-host, Richard Matteson.
Richard, why don't you take us into this one?
Well, we're talking about balancing your home's appeal to a buyer. And way back in April, we did a blog called Positioning Your House for a Quick Sale, where we talked about the outside of the house, and then we talked about some things on the inside of the house, spaciousness, make it clean to sell, make them think that there's not a lot of work to be done, decor neutral, and staging furnishings. And what we want to come back is those last two things, talk a little bit more about them. How do you make your home decor neutral, and how do you that plays into staging as well as it does into colors and things like that. So you don't know who you're going to sell your home to. You might be a traditional family system, but you might sell to a blended family, you might sell to a single parent, you might sell it to someone who never wants children. So a lot of variety there, and so you want to make that home, when they walk in, you want to make it so that they can really feel comfortable and see through their own eyes how they can position their things in that neutral environment.
Yep.
All right. So we've got several things to keep it warm and spacious and inviting, and yet deal with these crucial issues. And let's just start with color, and talking about the fact that bright, brilliant colors such as pink or black or brilliant reds are going to cause a little bit of, whoa, dude, I don't know about that room.
Well,
you know.
And to go along with that, I recently showed a house. My client actually got a headache from being inside the house because it was like bright yellows, bright like primary colors.
Oh man.
And then there was all this lighting that was bright too. And she left there just going, oh my goodness gracious.
Right, I'll bet she couldn't see herself in that house, did she?
Well, she ended up making an offer on it, so it was emblazoned on her memory.
Maybe she could see past all that.
Yeah.
And then she had a very
she's going to repaint the entire house.
Oh boy, that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, but she said that she would have headaches every day if she was in there.
Yeah.
You know, but that house was clean and you could
spacious,
and spacious. But the colors, again, going back just to the color focus, they were so bright.
Right.
It was not a little much, it was a lot much.
So dealing with the color issue can really help in drawing people in. And in most cases, although this case it didn't play out, but in most cases it can help to sell the house.
Yeah.
All right. The second thing is degenderizing, if that is a word, your home, such as baby rooms and garages, family rooms that turn into poker fest ideas, and, you know, the black curtains and all that. Degender your home so that it's a little more neutral, so that whether you have to put two girls in those rooms, which used to be held by boys, that it's not going to be too much of an issue.
Right.
I saw one that was, they had built a bunk bed into the room, and it was definitely a boy's room because he could jump upstairs and be on the top of the bunk, and he had a video up there, and he was all locked in. But when you walked in that room, the first thing you thought of is, gosh, I got to tear this whole thing off the wall. I got to do the fixing and all that in order to put my daughter in this room.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
So big deal there.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
Obviously, that plays into a lot of our lives, and a whole different, or a whole genre of spiritual emphasis. But typically in this area, one of the biggest things that we're going to see is like the wall of crosses. Yeah. That's great, but it can be overbearing first and foremost when you walk in, and then if someone doesn't believe in a wall of crosses, then they're, you know, possibly going to be turned off to the house, and so still want to sell the house. So maybe backing that down a little bit would be
right. Well, religious icons, statements, all of those things can have a deterring effect on a buyer. So it's, again, it's your house, and you can do with it what you want.
But it's not going to be your house for long.
Yeah.
Unless you don't do these things, and then it'll maybe be your house for a long time.
Right. And that plays into also ethnicity. You know, we have people in America that come from all the continents in the world, and they've developed lives here, and a lot of them are, you know, first, second, third generation. they still carry ethnicities with them through that. That's played out in artwork in the home. It's played out in music. It's played out in a lot of different things that might evidence ethnicity within the, even into colors in the home. So
colors and smells.
Smells.
Right. Cooking, different ethnicities have different types of food that they cook, and,
right.
and they can, some of them can be stronger smells and good, but yet at the same time, if you walk in and you get hit with that rather than something that's a little more neutral, then that's going to be the last thing.
Right. It used to just be that, you know, you could tell a smoker was in this house.
Right.
And that kind of hits you too, and we've had buyers go into homes and say, I don't know, I want to deal with getting rid of that smoke.
Right.
Well, some of that same thought process is going into these other kinds of aromas that are present in homes.
Absolutely.
And then we get to politics. Well, the two things you don't want to talk about are religion and politics, right?
Get out.
Right, so here we go. You know, are you going to have a room full of elephants or a room full of donkeys? Or what other kinds of statements are going to be on the wall? What kind of posters? Right. What kind of colors, things? What you really feel about political people? Or is that up on your walls? Well, right. That's not going to be real helpful, because we do have a country that's divided into a lot of different political realms. So let's kind of neutralize that, get those things out of there, and put those up in your new home.
Yep.
Which will come a lot faster if you do.
Let's talk about decades of living.
Okay. Well, I went in this one house, you know, when you go in the little girl's bedroom and the closet doors are gone, and they got the beads up there, right. You know, and hanging beads over a closet door, I'm not sure that ever covers anything real quickly, but there must be a reason for it. There must be some amazing thing that happens in that. Or, you know, all the brass fixtures or
right.
gold fixtures
right.
that were great in the 80s, but they're kind of outdated today.
Wood paneling.
Yeah. Wood paneling.
Just things that date your house. You need to look at those.
Right.
And again, with all of these, remember that the goal is to sell your house, and in order to give it its best opportunity, it needs to be as neutral as possible. And so going down the list and dealing with these items that we're discussing,
right.
And making them more neutral is going to give your house more of a broader appeal.
Right, and then we get to the last little fun thing. I'm
yes.
sure you might have a collectible group out there. Maybe it's the Christmas manger scenes, or maybe you've got a bunch of dolls or ceramic figures,
right.
or plates. You know,
yeah.
They're all great, but
it's time to box them up.
Time to put them away and give them a rest for a while.
And think of it like this: you're preparing to move, so go ahead and get those packed up safely, so you're not in a rush. You can take your time packing those things, making sure they're going to
right.
be taken care of, and take them to an air-conditioned storage or whatever, wherever would work for you. And
right.
and that way you're decluttering, you're cleaning out the house, you're making it cleaner and clearer all the way through as people walk through the rooms, and then you've also already taken a really large step in the packing process, which you're going to be grateful for later on once you have a contract.
Yeah, and you know, you don't want somebody picking it up by accident and breaking something, and that it's precious to you and has lots of memories, so, you know, set it apart for a while so they can see their own collectibles in there.
Absolutely.
All right? So what we're saying is that selling a home is kind of like a dance with the buyer. The seller and the buyer dancing together, and sometimes you hold each other close, sometimes you release each other and let go. And some of that let go is to take the colors, look over your house for colors and collectibles, and degendering and in spiritual emphasis, kind of walk through there to make sure that the dance takes place, and you're on the top of their card so that you can sell that home.
Excellent. Well, we're learning a little bit more about real estate together every day. I'll talk to you next time.